Glimpses show a man waking to a cell phone alarm, holding a toothbrush under a faucet, and starting a coffee maker.
Where are you going?
Work.
Now the bespectacled man gives an interview.
I've been in agriculture most of my life. Went to college for it, got 2 degrees in it, and I just love the work and I love the people that agriculture has around, and couldn't see myself doing anything else.
Words appear. Denver, Colorado, North Front Range.
There are over 500,000 people in Colorado with a disability who are 16 years of age and older. 30% of them are employed. It's a huge gap compared to people who don't have a disability. That compares to 71% of people who have no disability. There's also a disparity in earnings. The median earnings for someone with a disability in Colorado is about $24,000. The median earnings for people without a disability is $37,000. That's a $13,000 disparity. So we're always pushing, how can we help people get employed, have a higher wage, and be self-sufficient?
Glimpses show persons with disabilities working. A woman in a wheelchair enters a performing arts center. A man with a white cane works in an office. 2 men use sign language. And a woman uses a captioning phone. A title, Works Untapped Resource. Persons with disabilities.
Take 1.
Holyoke, Colorado, Northeast. The bespectacled farmer sits in a wheelchair.
There are all kinds of disabilities. Vision impairment, it could be a hearing impairment, a physical disability.
My name is Brady Haynes. I'm a farmer in Northeast Colorado. I work for Eagle Farms, operating equipment in Southwest Nebraska, Northeast Colorado. It's an irrigated and dryland farming operation. They grow corn, beans, wheat. Basically, on a dry year here, we'll have 1 ear per stalk, normally, per plant. This year, we've got 2. Pretty much every plant out here has 2 ears. We've had enough rain this year that all this corn is putting a 2nd ear on. Put up all kinds of different feed and a little bit of everything. We grow registered foundation seed for other commercial wheat producers. And this right here is a byproduct from that crop. It's just wheat straw, mainly used for bedding for animals. I operate equipment and do a lot of different jobs on the farm, kind of a diverse job. I don't really have a title, just the guy in the wheelchair that shows up at the farm.
In a building housing large farm equipment, Brady approaches a touchscreen computer and pulls the monitor closer. He taps the dust-covered screen.
One of the responsibilities on the farm that I've had, one of the things I've done is helped operate a seed treater. We will put raw seed in to this hopper right here, and it will drop down into this belt bearer and go into this grade drum, and we'll be able to add different chemicals to do different things for the seed once we get it put in the ground, whether it's fungicide, inoculants, different types of chemicals to basically promote the health and the yield potential of a crop.
Brady expertly disassembles part of the seed treater's conveyor. He wheels over to one of the immense red seed bins and knocks on it. Aaron Sprague, owner and operator of Eagle Farms, gives an interview.
Brady's responsibilities are pretty varied. He's done everything from Go Scout fields for us to tractor work.
Brady plows a field.
If you didn't know, and I just told you the tasks that he does, you wouldn't have any idea that he's got a disability. Best part about Brady, I've said a couple different times, is Brady just enjoys working. Everything we've asked him to do, he'll do.
Some of my favorite things are just working with the people that I work with, doing a lot of different farm operations, whether it's tillage operations. Today we're running a VT rig. It's a residue management tool more than a tillage tool. All these corn stalks that we have out here, we need to size up a little bit so they run through a drill when we go to sow wheat this fall. Or operating a swather, any kind of tractor work. Okay, so this is a GPS monitor. This just as long as I get to be around the people that I work with and in the place that I like to be in the country, I'm a happy camper.
A time-lapse view shows different parts of Colorado Springs, Colorado, Central Front Range. In a hallway, a slender woman walks with a guide dog. They enter an office with a sign which reads, Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. A poster on the window says, Service Animals Welcome.
My name is SERINA GILBERT, and I work for the Colorado Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. Currently, I am a rehabilitation counselor specializing in working with young adults with disabilities. I have worked for DVR for approximately 9 years, and I started out as a counselor. In our system, it's called Counselor 1, and I've always been working with young adults. And then in 2016, I progressed to a Counselor 2, which in Colorado, the specific position that I have is a regional lead counselor for transitioning youth.
I was going over all of the reports that you submitted, I think it was last week, and I know it's been super painful, like this whole last month going over like all the services you guys provided and all that fun stuff, but there was only one change that had to be made in all of the like 50 some odd reports that you gave me.
So I specialize in working with young adults, but also providing training to other counselors in our region, setting up special programs, and developing partnerships with all of our community partners.
She's gained knowledge in our youth, services program, which is very important for us. We, serve all types of disabilities, but the youth kind of program movement is growing. So she's out, at the schools, getting them to sign up for our program, identifying, what their needs are, and also looking at how can we best, serve our youth.
I love working with young adults because I start working with them when they're only 15 years old, most of them, and up to age 24. So when they're that young, it's kind of nice to be that first exposure to what is it that you want to do? How are you going to get there?
Let's get you back out. Let's get you networking with some people.
What are some things that you never even considered were possible? And getting them into that next step right after they're done with high school, where they feel that they have a purpose and a long-term career goal that they can really focus on.
What I would like you to do is, I'll email you the link to this website. Just type in some of your interests, see what comes up, and then maybe I can help you follow up with them, because they might want to interview you just like it's a real, regular job.
What are some tips on being successful in your position as a lead counselor or counselor?
Some tips that I would have for working as a rehabilitation counselor would be always be flexible. Every day you're going to come into work and think you're going to do certain things, and you might do 2 of those things and have 5 other things pop up that clients have needs or maybe need a question answered. Also, creativity is huge in this field. Sometimes we have to kind of find some employers that we haven't worked with before or small businesses to partner with us on different programs. And that definitely takes a lot of creativity and diligence and extreme patience, because you hear a lot of no's sometimes, but it's kind of cheesy, but it only takes one yes to get to that next step that you need.
She is definitely, a go-to person in the region, in the state, for counselors that may have questions about certain youth service programs.
Kristen Korash.
So as we are helping our clients, we are looking at the labor market information and what jobs are growing, where there's the opportunity. We also have business outreach specialists who work with employers across our state. We have 9 of them. They've reached out to over 1,200 employers this past year to find jobs for people with disabilities and really bring the information back to our counselors and to individuals looking for work about what kind of jobs are necessary, what kind of skills that employers are looking for. And we're placing people in all sorts of industries, including agriculture, retail.
Durango, Colorado, southwest. Autumn trees dot the mountainous landscape, and a steam engine pulls into a station. In an office supply store, a smiling blonde woman gives an interview.
My name is Molly Hanson, and I work at Office Depot. I never worked at a big store like this, and I was kind of interested in it. It took me a while to hire here. I did Office Depot in high school. I do all the supplies. I put little stoppers on. That's nice. I restock the shelves.
What's your favorite thing to do here?
Favorite? Everything.
Molly smiles proudly.
What's one of your everything favorites?
Putting stuff away, like stock stuff.
She's really started to catch on and take control of what she's doing, and really helps me figure out what I'm doing a little bit more. She's brought up some questions that I haven't even come across yet, so she's dug deep and she's helped me out a lot as well.
I like the friendly people. I get off and then I'm knocked out after I'm done, but I do a good job and I get good paychecks and I love it a lot.
Fist bump? Fist bump. There it is.
We create with our client a plan for employment. That plan includes a large range of things that are really targeted to the needs of that individual person. We can provide assistive technology that may help them on the job. The first thing that they do is an assessment.
My pickup that I use to get in and out of the tractor, Department of Vocational Rehabilitation sent me to an ag-ability counselor to identify what modifications I needed to get in and out of equipment to do my job. They come to your farm and they try to come up with the roadmap for the most efficient, effective way for you to not only just do your job, but do it to the best of your ability. Ag-ability can come up with the recommendations, but DVR helps implement them through their counselors. Taryn, who's my counselor in Sterling now, has just been incredible to work with.
In Brady's case, we partnered with Ag-ability, and they came to his farm and kind of assessed his needs and made a report of recommendations that we could purchase items from that list. One thing we purchased was a truck bed lift.
A crane-operated chairlift carries Brady to a tractor. He slides from the chairlift to the farm vehicle's front seat.
We also help with self-employment.
I sell all the males as meat goats. They're a South African boar goat, came from South Africa. That's the breeding that they have. They're all designed for carcass merit to be sold as meat goats. My main goal with this herd is to expand it and grow it, so I'm up to 75 to 100 nannies myself.
Some of the things that Ag-ability recommended on their report was a working system for his livestock to keep him safe, and also a UTV.
So this working system is for the general care of my goat herd. What this will allow me to do is give shots and take care of the animals, their health needs.
Steering his wheelchair across the farm, Brady glances over and calls out to his herd of goats. The animals bound over to him as he approaches the fence and sticks his arm through it.
This is my meat goat herd. They're such an athletic animal and they're so energetic. That working system is super critical to keep me safe and them also safe, so we can restrain them tightly, firmly, without hurting them and without hurting me, keep us both safe.
In Denver, people mill about Union Station. Our view rises up the legs of two towering human figures in the Denver Performing Arts Sculpture Park. The side of a truck reads, "Creating local jobs for people with disabilities." At BlueStarRecyclers.org, two men give an interview.
My name is Tom Maloney. I work at Blue Star Recyclers.
Blue Star is a 501(c) nonprofit with the social mission of employing adults with autism and other disabilities. Bill Morris, our founder, was working with a day program where there were some folks disassembling electronics, and he just noticed really quickly that they had a very specific skill set. The way they took apart the electronics was the same way every time, very systematic.
So I've worked here for 2 years. I started out just doing the front counter because they didn't quite have a position for me. But as soon as they found out sort of my skill set, I took over more of a supervisory role. I started this resale program. I started helping the guys in the front, stacking them out with their computers.
What's your favorite part about supervising?
Delegation. My favorite part about supervising is delegation, of course. No, it's great to kind of get the work done and all, but also to be able to then, I have the bigger picture in mind also, because I was doing it all myself. I was well, I have to sort all this RAM and I have to do these specific things. Now I can kind of be like, okay, I've got these guys doing this, so I can now find out who wants to buy the stuff and what more we can get. I can kind of do a little bit of higher level planning and that kind of stuff.
He just had such a wide skill set that we kind of threw everything at him at one time. He runs our social media, our refurb and digital equity program, and it's really taken off this year under his guidance.
Employees work on computer parts.
We've really found that this is a superior workforce, plain and simple. They come to work on time, they come to work every day. We don't have any absenteeism or lost time to accidents, and our turnover is almost zero in an industry where the average turnover is about 300%.
At Eagle Farms.
We can keep track of our fuel usage, keep track of our work rate. Like right now I'm going really fast.
Can you talk about any accommodations you've made, or if you have any?
So accommodations we've made have been very minimal, really.
A glimpse shows the vehicle's pedals.
Eagle Farms has been great about getting me into equipment that kind of has a minimum requirement for the use of my legs. I don't have a hand clutch anymore.
Brady uses hand-operated controls to drive a blade plow.
At most, we use a hand clutch to get it into gear, get the tractor into gear. Then everything else is pretty much run by your hands.
He turns the steering wheel.
If there's something that is an easy thing to do, but it's gonna take a lot for me to do as far as transfers, they kind of have really minimized that for me, helping me fuel up and do things like that, and help me work on equipment that I would have to get on the ground and work on that would just be a pain in the neck for me to do. They show up and help me out with it. They don't necessarily they don't look at my limitations so much as they know that to keep me at 100%, they need to help me watch my skin. They need to help me minimize the wear and tear on my shoulders. And they've done that. I didn't have to ask them to do that. They've just kind of known. And that's been a pretty fantastic thing.
At work, SERINA performs multiple duties throughout the day.
So I think one of the interesting things, about SERINA, is her time management and effectiveness of that. So she is able to look at, her work week and say, this is where I've got to be, this is how I need to be there, and coordinate. And I think that's a big piece. She has to, coordinate with, who's, assisting her to get somewhere. When she's there, at a school, it makes her very effective in her job and very timely, in the activities that she does. So SERINA usually gets around with Metro Mobility, to and from work. She's able to schedule with them to, get to appointments. I think the biggest things are, her computer and her phone and the technology that is on there.
As an individual with a vision impairment, I have had a lot of accommodations that have been made for me to be able to do my job. Most of them are technology related. So for example, I use what's called JAWS, it stands for Job Access with Speech, which is a screen reader that allows me to access pretty much anything on the computer that somebody with using a mouse would be able to access. And it turns everything into a text-to-speech engine. Kind of sounds like a robot sometimes. I also have an iPhone that has voiceover on it, which is also a screen reader technology. And then recently, I've gotten a service called IRA approved. And what that is it's visual interpretation for the blind. So what that is via a smartphone app, I can call a trained agent and they can essentially be my virtual eyes. If I'm in an unfamiliar location and I'm trying to find like a front door or catch an Uber or a Lyft, or if I need to read something that's maybe handwritten or would just be more efficient if somebody just could glance at it rather than me trying to scan it or look over it like that.
At Office Depot,
I'm not used to the headsets.
a coworker helps Molly put one on.
Good day. I've found as their supervisor the best way to show her what to do or how to do so.
Your fancy signature? Yes, ma'am.
It was just hands-on with her, so showing her with our little devices or even just walking her right to the product wherever that may be. You can also count from the end, so there would be 1, 2, 3. Showing her how we put it away, if the packing needs to be unwrapped or anything like that. Really just hands-on and face-to-face with her helps the best.
At Blue Star Recycling, a woman operates a hard drive crusher.
Blue Star, really the only accommodation that we make for our employees when they interview with us is a working interview. We don't do a typical sit-down interview because it's just, we've found that folks on the spectrum have a really hard time with that social interaction, especially with somebody they're meeting for the first time. You're not going to be able to determine whether or not they're good at the job by having a traditional interview. So we made it really simple. It's just, can you do the job? So we sit them down in front of a computer, we show them exactly step by step how we take apart that computer, and they go through it. Usually after a couple tries they pick it up really quickly, and it's really easy to decide whether it's a good fit for us or not.
Do you have any advice on working with people with disabilities?
I would say the best advice I could be is just be patient and work with them as much as you can, answer all their questions. It's nothing to rush into. It's something they're there to take their time and have a good time, and you're just there to help them, teach them, and smile with them.
Any advice, really, I don't have a whole lot. Probably at the outset, there was more wondering whether we would have to have accommodations or anything like that. And I guess my only advice would be, don't assume going in. Just have the relationship just like any other employee. And that's been great with Brady is you don't have to wonder. You know, he's happy to do whatever, and just like any other employee, everybody's the same. Right? No matter what their situation is, everybody's got a story, and it's just part of their background, and you just move forward with that and use their strengths that they have.
A young woman works at the Botanical Gardens.
I'm hoping to really get the message out there that employment is for people with disabilities, and that employers would believe that and see this as the untapped resource that it really is, that people with disabilities would maybe see this film and believe that they could work. They could see themselves in one of these people that you're highlighting, and they believe that they could work.
SERINA laughs with a coworker. Tom gives an interview.
What advice would you give to people with disabilities on job seeking?
On job seeking, well, the one thing, again, that I said that helped me is I'm a theater major, so taking an acting class, like just especially for just the interview or improv, they help you sort of loosen up, and they teach you the stuff that neurotypical folks might like kind of understand intuitively. It's actually some good like training for that, and also just self advocate. Don't be afraid to disclose you have a disability. Say, hey, look, I'm looking for this job. I'm really good. I might not do good in this interview because I've done bad with eye contact. I get nervous on that, but show me the job, and I'll show you I can do it. And it's okay to have somebody there helping you. Like if you need somebody to help.
Some advice that I would have for individuals with disabilities looking for employment is, number one, figure out what it is you really, really like to do and what would be the best fit for you. Oftentimes in the disability community, we sometimes can tend to settle for, well, this is the place that hired me, so this is where I'm going to kind of remain, or I'm just grateful to have a job. Which job experience is definitely great to have, but if it's something that you really truly are not passionate about, then definitely take that time to look at what is it that I really want to do, where do I want to be, and don't be afraid to take that risk to go to the career that you really will enjoy.
SERINA meets with a group.
Another piece of advice that I have is don't be afraid to network. Sometimes we can get a little bit overwhelmed going to a group with lots of strangers and trying to kind of make your way through a crowd of people, but networking is a number one way that you're going to make those connections that you might want to make to get to the career that you want to be in.
You have to put yourself out there a little bit if you want a job. It doesn't matter if you're able-bodied or not. You have to go and look for it. You're gonna find that you have to help yourself a little bit, and if you do that, people will help you. That'd be my advice. Help yourself, get out there and do what you want to do.
Something that I want employers to know about working with individuals with disabilities is that we are some of the most productive workers that you will probably ever hire. Once we get those great accommodations in place, we will take off running and typically stay a little bit longer for you, so you don't have to worry about hiring a new individual into a new job and training somebody new. And we definitely like to advance within positions that we're in. And I think you can't go wrong hiring an individual with a disability. We might do something a little bit differently, but we will definitely get the job done, and sometimes even more efficiently than those without disabilities.
How I want to be seen as a disabled person in the workforce, just as someone that is capable and competent and can do the job that anyone else can. They just might have to find a different way to do it, but the results will be the same. So one of the things when you're a disabled farmer and you rely on a wheelchair, if you have pneumatic tires, you have to be cognizant of these plants here called puncture vine, which produce these little stickers, is what we call them, goat head stickers. They'll puncture the inner tube of your tire and leave you with a flat tire. So it would behoove you to get hard inserts for your tires if you're going to be doing this type of work. You have to have the mindset that you just want to do what you want to do. Surround yourself with people that can help you make that happen, and then the rest will take care of itself. You just show up.
A time-lapse view shows a man getting out of a wheelchair and disassembling a camera tripod. Written, directed, and filmed by Matt Getz. At Blue Star Recycling, a woman follows Matt through the facility. Brady operates the blade plow tractor. Executive producers, Diana Primavera, Marielle Rodriguez-McGill, Donald Zuckerman. A locomotive travels through the verdant countryside. Filmed in Colorado. Audio description produced by Tailored Perspectives. Consultant producers, Kevin Thompson, Timothy Wynn, Melody Goodspeed. This program was described by Rebecca Downey, engineered by Matthew Norman, and narrated by Roy Samuelson. For more information on hiring Coloradans with disabilities, please visit www.colorado.gov/DVR.